All right, here are the Breitbart headlines from yesterday. Since yesterday. Dawn of a new era. Silence is complicity, say many white protesters. I just made a whole video about that called Branching Logic. Carrick, over 300 NYPD officers injured in riots, 600 considering resigning. The police are definitely being targeted here. It's a tactic of war. De Blasio vows to cut NYPD funding while violent crime soars. So he's guilty of treason and needs to be hung by the neck until dead after being tried for treason. Anybody that talks about defunding the police is definitely guilty of that. And what happened was, Minneapolis, they folded, they kneeled down, they gave up. So now they set the precedent, and it's going to happen all over the United States. And not only that, now people aren't going to stop. They got no incentive to stop anymore. If it worked in Minnesota, that's it. That was a domino. Minnesota police defunding was a domino. It's all going to go now. Felon charged with murdering retired police captain David Dorn in riots. They got that motherfucker. Oh, they got him. They're holding him without bond. They got his compadre, and they're holding him with $30,000 cash bond. I don't know why they're letting these guys out at all. They should really take very, very strong action against these guys after they take them to trial. Let's not jump to any conclusions. High wind, rain, as tropical storm makes Louisiana landfall. Hey, do you guys know there's a fucking hurricane going? And it's really, really serious? Oh, nobody thought about that. Which kind of reminds me, this stuff going on with Rod Rosenstein and stuff like that. It was a headline. It was like a blip on the radar. Like, phew, it's gone. A year ago, that would have been like the main thing, or a couple years ago, that would have been all they were talking about all day was that. Now it's a blip, nothing. Boop. Okay. Biden declines to stand up against defund police. That's really bad, Joe. You're setting a precedent that's really bad. The Kraken has been released already, though, so maybe these guys have to try to, take, what's that called when you flip around? I think it's called changing face. Romney marching to White House because Black Lives Matter. He marched, and de Blasio's daughter throws Molotov cocktails, and Ilhan Omar and her husband were actually seen in protests. They're taking sides. Bezos scolds Amazon customers for saying, quote, all lives matter. I'm sorry. Bezos scolds Amazon customer for saying, quote, all lives matter. Let me look into this one real quick here. Hang on a second. Billionaire Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, scolded a customer in an email for saying, quote, all lives matter. And he says he fully supports the Black Lives Matter movement. In the midst of rioting over the death of George Floyd, Bezos posted to his Instagram account his response to a customer who expressed her opposition to the current banner on Amazon, which reads, Black Lives Matter. Okay. All lives matter. The customer wrote in an email, if it wasn't for all these lives providing their service to you and your company, where would you be? Where would Amazon be today? She was asking him. In response, Bezos reaffirmed his support for the Black Lives Matter movement, No, Macy, I have to disagree with you. Black Lives Matter doesn't mean other lives don't. Black Lives Matter speaks to racism that black people face in our law enforcement and justice system. I have a 20-year-old son, and I simply don't worry that he may be choked to death while being detained one day. It's not something I worry about. Black parents can't say the same. None of this is intended to dismiss or minimize the very real worries you or anyone else may have in their own life. But I want you to know I support this that we see happening all around, and my stance won't change. George Floyd's lawyer and Joel Pollack discuss, was chaos necessary for justice? Bronx shop owner says looters targeted minorities during riots. I looked at that article. There's this guy. He says that, man, they came after me. He says that there's a bunch of white guys. Like I said, 80% of the guys that are, I'm not sure the extra percent, a large percentage of the guys that are actually causing the trouble are white. And here's a Bronx shop owner guy saying that, yeah, those guys targeted minorities. And that might really well be. That might be, man. They may actually have, I mean, they're not white nationalists. They're just trying to fuck everything up completely, you know? And they're doing that on purpose, again, to polarize people and to make, to create the image that there are white nationalists involved with this. And then that amplifies everything even more. It just stirs more shit. It's like throwing gasoline on a fire here, okay? Sanctuary, New York City, protected illegal alien gang member wanted for murder. Okay, Pinkerton, a digital dragnet to stop Antifa is going up. San Francisco, police seek arrest of looters caught on camera and video. Well, all police should always try to arrest everybody that broke any kind of law like that, okay? Texas men revive lifeless baby deer found at lake using CPR. Well, that's important. Video, alleged cop stabber yells, Allahu Akbar, as he attacks his victim. It's a blip, man. This must be the blip section here, okay? Recently deported coronavirus patient escapes Mexican border city hospital. Big fucking deal, man. So what if you got coronavirus, man? So what? Jesus Christ, man. God. Video. Teen surprised with car and scholarship after cleaning up after riots. That's nice to hear that stuff there. Very encouraging. I'm behind that. Atlanta Mayor Bottoms. I was simply disgusted at Trump invoking George Floyd's name. I believe she also, the same mayor, I think she wants Colin Kaepernick to be reinstated into the NFL as a good gesture. Well, maybe get to that headline. Antifa protesters charged with looting Target store in Texas. They actually got 3 guys from Antifa. They're going to charge them like big deal. And the article, it said they caused $20,000 in damage. The fucking whole Target was burned to the ground, man. It's a little more than $20,000, guys. You know, this is kind of worry about. You got to worry about the accuracy of the reporting or what they're actually trying to get you to believe when they report on things. They say something and they want you to believe something else, or they've got these what are they called? These underlying purposes. Antifa protesters charged. Okay, we just did that one. Wikipedia bosses impose code of conduct over diversity concerns. Wikipedia bosses impose code of conduct. Oh, okay. So Wikipedia, that's a public. it's people that contribute to articles. It's like a big encyclopedia. Everybody knows what it is. And they're saying that as far as if you're going to be contributing articles, we want you to follow a code of conduct that obviously takes into account, I guess you have to say Black Lives Matter, right? Okay. How Venezuela's Maduro strong-armed direct TV into airing propaganda and charged $1 for it. Well, I mean, this kind of thing happens all the time, man. What you're hearing on the news mostly is definitely being paid for to make sure that they only hear what they want you to hear. Obviously, man, come on. Okay, most popular, white coats for Black Lives. Oh, come on. Jesus Christ. Protesters, healthcare workers take a knee. Ugh. Ugh. God. Pathetic, man. Sorry, you. Okay, Nolte, he's an editor apparently. Dr. Fucci is either a liar or a fraud. Hey, how about he's a liar and a fraud, eh? Bottoms, okay, Bottoms, he's the governor mayor. Okay, great symbolic gesture if NFL team signs Colin Kaepernick. Fuck you, lady, come on. They don't want him. He's a troublemaker. But you know what? He'll probably be throwing the ball pretty soon, watch. They're going to cheer him on big time. Watch. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry told to leave. Yeah, we talked about this yesterday when this mayor got down and cried at the casket, and then 2 hours later he was in a meeting, and they asked him, "Hey, are you behind defunding?" And he said no, and they chased him out of the meeting. They actually said, "Get the fuck out of here." Here's the quote right here. I think we're caught up right now to where we were at yesterday. All right, so it's 8th of June, 2020. Marty Waller reporting from Livonia, Michigan. Breitbart News. Bye-bye.